It's late. The house is finally quiet. You're just about to drift off to sleep, and then you hear it. That little sound right above your head. A scratch, maybe a thump. Something is definitely moving around up in your attic. If that sounds a little too familiar, you're going to want to stick around. Let's get into what's really making all that noise. You know that sound. It's the one that makes you freeze, right? Your mind just starts racing, trying to figure out if it's just the house settling or if it's something else entirely. Well, let me tell you, if you're hearing this, the first thing you should know is that you are absolutely not alone. This is a super common problem for homeowners, especially right here in North Texas. That sound is a shared experience, and you know what? It almost always points to the same uninvited guest. Okay, so let's tackle the big question first. Why is this even happening? We're going to look at why your attic, of all places, and why the noise always seems to kick in right when you're trying to get some sleep. The whole thing really starts with one simple word: nocturnal. Rats are hardwired to be active at night. I mean, for thousands of years, it's how they've survived, by avoiding predators and us under the cover of darkness. It's just their natural rhythm. And that's exactly where your attic comes into play. See, once everyone in your house goes to bed and things quiet down, your attic basically turns into a 5-star resort for a nocturnal animal. It's dark, it's quiet, and most importantly, it feels totally safe to them. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. What you're hearing up there isn't just random chaos. These pests, they're actually on a surprisingly predictable schedule. And if you understand their routine, you'll know exactly what's going on above your head. Believe it or not, their night is pretty structured. You can think of it like a work shift. From about 9 to 11 p.m., they're just waking up and heading out to find food and water. Then you get the peak activity window. And finally, they start wrapping things up and heading back to the nest just before the sun comes up. So, that midnight to 2 a.m. window, does that time frame ring a bell? This is when they are at their busiest, scurrying back and forth, dragging stuff around to build their nests, and chewing on things. It's no wonder this is when most people get woken up. You can actually decode what's happening just by listening. That light scratching you hear, that's probably just them moving around. But a heavier thump or a rolling sound, that could be a bigger rat, or maybe they're dragging nesting material. And that repetitive gnawing sound, that's the one you really need to pay attention to. It means they're actively chewing on your home's wood, or even worse, the electrical wiring. So what's the takeaway if you're hearing these sounds night after night? Let's be real, this isn't a one-time visitor just passing through. It's the clearest possible sign that you have an established infestation. They've moved in and made your attic their home. And that brings us to a really critical point. It's so tempting to just try and ignore the noise. Hope it'll just go away on its own. But waiting is one of the riskiest things you can do, because these problems, they never, ever fix themselves. They only get worse. An infestation that's left alone becomes way more than just an annoyance. I mean, they chew through electrical wires, which is a serious fire hazard. They completely ruin your insulation with droppings in urine, which tanks your home's air quality. And the worst part? They multiply so fast, turning what seems like a small problem into a massive one in just a few weeks. And it's not just about the damage to your house. There's a much more serious issue here. As the CDC points out, rodents can carry and spread all sorts of diseases. So this isn't just a property issue anymore. It's a real health concern for you and your family. So the next logical question is, okay, can't I just go to the store, buy some traps, and handle this myself? It's what most homeowners try first. But does that really get to the root of the problem? Well, here's the thing with DIY traps. They only treat the symptom, not the actual disease. You might catch a rat or two, sure, but you haven't done anything about how they got in the first place. A professional approach is totally different. It's all about finding and sealing up every single entry point so they simply can't get back inside. It's about a long-term fix. So enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. How do you actually go from hearing those noises every single night to having a quiet, secure home for good? It's a comprehensive process, and it's all about long-term control. A real professional service does way more than just set out a few traps. It starts with a top-to-bottom inspection to find every little crack or hole they could be using to get in. Then, after the current population is removed, the real work begins, installing durable materials to permanently block off access, and finally, addressing the contamination they've left behind. And taking action as soon as you notice a problem isn't just for your own peace of mind. It's a really smart financial decision. The cost of getting it handled professionally early on is almost always way, way less than paying for major repairs to wiring, insulation, and framing down the road. So we end up right back where we started, with that sound in the attic. But now you know what it means. You know their schedule, and you definitely know the risks. The only question left is, knowing the damage that's happening every single night they're up there, what will it cost you if you hear it again next week?